Again, my name is, for those who had where the internet was lagging, my name is Chad Allen, and tonight we will be discussing uh, how to be a blessing, even if you are angry at that person, because it's something that I see all the time with a lot of people. It's something that I see within my own family at times. We are not immune to it, but it does happen for a lot of people, because what happens is that we typically, when we get angry or upset with somebody, we tend to say things that are very hurtful toward other people, and we would say things that we would regret later. And then in turn, that person will turn back and say something negative to you as well, right? And or they might, uh, that's when the fists start flying, or when people just leave. That's when marriages break up. That's when relationships, like friendships, etc., begin to break apart. It's because, typically what happens is we, as humans, get offended, and we take that offense to a new level, and then we begin to find ways to get back at that person instead of being a blessing. So I want to teach you how to be a blessing, uh, even in the heat of the moment, because it requires you. It takes a couple things. Okay, number one, you need to be able to control who you are, control your anger, and you need to take that anger and then step back a few moments, and then from there you can begin to assess the situation, instead of telling that person that they are a no good blankety blank because they said something bad to you. If you can't say anything nice, just say something like, thank you for letting me know. Or if it's like a husband and wife relationship, instead of getting angry and telling them how awful they are, just step back and say, I love you very, very much, and then let it be, and then after everything cools off, then you can discuss the issues at hand. Hi Sharon, how are you? Welcome to my call. I really appreciate it. So, and forgive me because I think I'm fighting off a little bit of a cold, but the what I'm taking, I think it's really, really being helpful. Anyway, so you need to be able to take what you have when you get angry, and then stop for a moment, and then uh, say something that would be nice, right? So you sandwich, like, if you want to do a criticism of somebody who made you really, really upset. The best way is typically to sandwich that criticism between the praises, right? So you are a wonderful and beautiful person. However, what you did here was very, very wrong. But that does not change the fact that you are that you are a wonderful person. I just didn't. So you say this type of. That's how you would do that kind of criticism, because what you're doing, you're diffusing any kind of negative feedback that comes back, right? So when we learn how to do conflict management, in whatever situation that is taking place, then we were better able to solve the issues that are surrounding us at that very particular moment. So when we are able to we listen. So that's like one of the main things. Like, you have to be a good listener, right? And most of the time, what we are wanting to do is we are wanting to jump in and begin to criticize and begin to get back at that particular person right away, instead of just being quiet for a moment and listening, you know, and then gathering our thoughts. Instead, we allow our mind to get the best of us, right? And then in the heat of the moment, we are trying to get back at that person. Well, you shouldn't do that. We need to learn how to be a blessing to other people, even when they don't deserve it. So, like for your children, for example, they do something really really bad. Okay, so how would you be a blessing in that very moment? You would get back with them and say, I love you very very much, but what you did here was not right. See, what you do is you attack the behavior. You don't attack the person. You don't say you are this and this and this. You would say, like, honey, I love you very, very much, but the behavior that you exhibited here, what you did in this very moment was not right. And then why is it not right? So it's like you're teaching and you're guiding your children in that very moment. And the same thing applies to those in the workforce, those who you lead. It's the exact same way. So you take what you have and you you learn how to do conflict management in a very good way. And the best way to learn is actually with your own family, because why? There's conflict all the time, right? Your children want to do something, they want to break off and be very, very independent. And as parents, you're pulling out your hair because they're not doing what they are wanting, what they're being independent, So if they're when they're trying to break off and trying to be that independent, then the only thing that you can really do is be a guide to them and really share with them the importance of their actions. So so we have to learn how to bless, right? So when it comes to our children or it comes to those in the workforce, we have to learn not to be so jealous of other people, right? We When we see our children, we see that there's potential, and we begin to bless that potential. So you know, if your child comes up to you and says something to the effect of, Daddy, I really want to be a good basketball player. I really want to go to college, get a scholarship, and these things. But at the moment, I don't know how to do that. I'm not on a team. I'm not here. I'm not that. As a father, you have the responsibility to bless your child with that. You impart that gift to them. If that's what they are desiring, if that's what they are wanting, then you impart that gift. So what do I mean by impartation? By imparting. So this is where it comes about talks about us being a blessing. So we tend to be a blessing even if it's something that we don't agree with, right? So if my child says, I really want to be a basketball player. I want to get a scholarship for college and play, or this. You bless them. Say, I bless you with that you will be a basketball player that will be top in her class, in his class. I bless you with the ability to make all of your shots. That you will be a superb shooter from the 3 point line, from the foul shot, from inside, wherever position they put you at. That you'll be a wonderful blocker, and that you'll be a well-rounded player, and that when you go to college, you'll have a scholarship, and then if and then you'll be a pro player. So you bless them with that, and then as they began to work toward that goal, and they began to really to make things happen for themselves, you support that. You go in and you help them achieve that goal. So whatever their destiny is, and if you realize what their destiny is at the very beginning of their life, then you go there and you begin to support that destiny. As parents, we are there to support our children, to help them become uh, the kind of people that God is calling them to be, to realize their dreams, to realize their destiny. So we support that, and we began to make ways um, to ensure that they have what is needed of them, to achieve that particular goal. So when we get angry with them, we tend to when we say things that are irrational and we say things that are hurtful, we begin to attack the identity of that individual, of that person. Hi, Ron. How are you? Thank you for being on the call. So we begin to attack the identity of that person. And when we attack the identity of that person, we begin to destroy the drive that they have. We begin to destroy the dreams that they have, the destiny that they are called for, unless that person is strong within and they're able to get past that. See, most people are like flowers, they're very delicate, and most are not able to take any kind of criticism. So you have to be able to really uh, to do it in a way that will help, that will inspire them to become more. So when we are trying to bless others, even when we are angry, we are saying things that will be empowering, or we are doing things that, when we will not say things that are negative in nature to that person. Instead, what we do is we find ways to be a blessing. We find ways to encourage that person while we are working, where we are attacking the behavior of that particular person, while at the same time, at the end, explaining to them how much we care for them, right? How much you appreciate them, that those kind of things. So you affirm, then you criticize, and then you reaffirm, and then that's how you do that. If the person is still very negative and very upset, still, you did your job. There's nothing you can do, right? There's nothing more that you can do. You did your job. But there are such things also as saying things that are very negative, or that sounds very negative. Is is your tone and how you come off. So yeah, if you can learn how to um, come off in a very non-judgmental way when you're dealing with these particular issues, whatever issue that is, then it would really help you in the end. Now, does that mean that this will always be the case? How you would do that? No, obviously there are times where you really have to be strong, and you really have to be standing up and really be uh, forceful, especially when it comes to life and death situation. You have to be uh, ready to take that charge. However, in most cases, in the majority of cases, when it comes to with family members and uh, fellow coworkers, or your team that you are there, it's going to require you to be a bit delicate with the issue that you're dealing with, especially with your children. So, hi Sharon, how are you doing? Thank you for being on the call. So, when you learn how to do that, then you begin to win in many arguments, because most people cannot take when you are being nice, when you are being a blessing. But when you are a blessing, it begins to diffuse the argument, and people begin, and then the arguments that you typically have with a person begin to be lessened quite a bit. Sometimes the best response is not responding at all. When I mean by that, if someone is being so ferocious in their arguments, sometimes you just have to be quiet and just let them vent, because they're venting. That's how they get it out. Hard, yes, very, very hard. But sometimes that's all you can do. Other times you say, I love you. And then that's all you can say. Hey, I love you. And then let it be. And then when the situation is diffused, then you speak up and you say something. But just remember, affirmation, criticism, then affirmation again. And these are the things that you can really, that can really be helpful for you if you are wanting to be a blessing even when you are angry. So it's very, very important that you follow these types of steps. But I have more steps. I have more tips that I can really share with you. And if you are wanting to know more, just message me below, and I will uh, get those tips over to you. So I have many, many other tips when it comes to this kind of thing. I have how to be a blessing toward others. So I thank you for being on the call. We will talk to you tomorrow for another um, subject, and I know that you'll be there, and I'm really happy that you're there. And thank you for being on the call. And we'll talk to you later on. Okay. Remember, message below if you want more tips. Okay, on how to be a blessing even when you are angry. Okay. Take care. Bye bye.